Hi guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and today I will be doing my September wrap-up, my September favorites, my October TBR, and my costume reveal all in one video, plus a special announcement because one of these things in this haul is pretty obvious for my surprise. So the surprise being, I've been so busy in the month of September that I kind of got behind on my reading because I am newly engaged. She proposed to me when I came home, and if you want to hear that story, or if you want to hear any other of my wedding related things, post down below and let me know. Let me know, because this video I already know is gonna be long enough, and I'm gonna be making wedding videos probably at the butt until the day of my wedding, so that's gonna be fun. I bought some things for my wedding, but they're too big to bring up here, and I have a theme for my wedding, and I'm totally excited for it, and I can't wait. So, moving along, because this is gonna be a long video, because I ended up going to Texas, since I live in New Mexico. For a lot of things, me and my friends decided that we wanted to get out of the small town we live in New Mexico, and go to Texas for some shopping. So, I have that. Well, there, I bought my costume. So I'm gonna have a costume reveal too. It's a gorgeous costume, by the way, and it fits into the theme that me and my friends are having this year. So I'm excited for it. But first, I'm gonna start off with my September wrap-up, because it's the shortest one that I have to do on this one. So for the month of September, since I've been busy with wedding planning and going to Texas and other stuff, and falling into a deep Netflix binge watch, which I'll tell you my favorites for September, what I've been watching, because, it's October is also going to be a very busy month for me because I have a lot of books on my TBR to read, and it's Vampire Diaries month, not to mention Halloween, which I'm a big fan of Halloween, so it's going to be fun. So the first and only book that I read for the month of September is A Torch Against the Night by Sabatir. This is the second book in the Ember and the Ashes series, and if you've read it and want to know more about my thoughts on it, I do have a review for it that I will link down below. Oh, if you're interested in hearing what I thought about it and why you're curious to know why it's a 15-minute video, there was a lot to discuss, guys. A lot. And if you read it, you wouldn't know what I was talking about. But I would suggest, if you haven't gone to the Ember and the Ashes series, read both of these because they're really good books, and I really love it. And I'm sorry if my light balance is kind of off today. It's usually off, but since the sun is setting down, it's gonna get a little funky in here, so I apologize for that. So first up, so that was it for my September wrap-up. Moving on to the things I got in September. I have to get them. So first up, I love the movie Nightmare Before Christmas. There was a sale at Hot Topic. It was buy 3 shot glasses, get 1 free. So I ended up getting this one, which is Jack Skellington, and I love the movie Nightmare Before Christmas, so I just love it so much. So the next one, I actually noticed this while I was getting it, but now I don't really mind it because it's actually part of who I am as a person. So this one is Tying the Knot by Us a Shot, and it's got the LGBT colors on it, and it stands for same-sex marriage, But at the same time, I support same-sex marriage. I'm not gonna get into my thoughts and feelings about it. If you would like to know my actual feelings about everything considering LGBT youth and LGBT community, I'll make more videos about it if you want that. But I do not support nasty comments in my comment box, because no matter what you try to say to me about it, I'm not gonna change my feelings about it. So I'm more of a person, you respect my opinion, I respect yours. I'm not telling you that you have to support it, but at the same time, please don't get me to convert not to support it, because it's not gonna happen. So the next one I got was Heath Ledger's Joker, and Heath Ledger is my all-time favorite Joker, and I just love it. So I thought, since I got Heath Ledger's Joker, I would get another Joker, so I got Jared Leto's Joker on the shot glass, and I think the shot glass just looks so cool, and I love it so much. So moving on to the next thing I got, I managed to get 3 bows from Hot Topic, plus my costume for the month. But the costume will come a little bit later. So first bow I got was Daddy's Little Monster, and this is a Harley Quinn bow, since I'm obsessed with Harley Quinn and Joker, and my bow just fell, so that's why I had to bend down. But I love this bow, it's so awesome. The next bow I got, I was surprised that they actually had it, because it's a Once Upon a Time bow, and I didn't know they were making this bow, nor did I know this bow existed, and that was my Regina bow from Hot Topic. I totally love this bow, it's so awesome. I love the little apple, and it's so cool. So the last bow I ended up getting was my original Mad Hatter bow, because it's got the 10-9 and a 10-9. Sorry about that, guys. I flipped the number. It's got the 10-6 on it, and I'm so excited about it. I wore it on my not Ember in the Ashes, a Torch Against the Night review, and was so excited for it. Next thing, I'm gonna show what I got. I ended up getting 5 video games from GameStop, which is actually a couple miles from where I live where I got them from. I didn't get them from Texas, and I got this other video game from where I actually live, so this isn't really a part of the Texas thing, but I still got them in the month of September, so I'm still gonna show them. So I'm a huge fan of The Sims. I don't think I've really discussed The Sims while I was doing all this, but I'm a huge fan of The Sims. So I ended up getting The Sims 3 for PS3, since me and my fiance have a few systems in our house. So I got The Sims 3 for PS3. Next game I heard about a year ago. I've been dying to get my hands on it. I never really could find it until I decided to stop into GameStop, and I was so happy that they had it, which was Heavy Rain for PS3. I heard that this was a pretty good game, and I think it's got the butterfly effect, and if you know me, I love games with the butterfly effect. I'm obsessed with games with the butterfly effect, so I was happy to get this in my collection. So the next thing I got in my collection was the Alice Madness Returns game. I've never really played this. I heard it's a good game. So I got it. And I love honestly, cover lust for me. I love this cover so hard. Next one I got is another game that I've heard a lot about, and that was Dark Souls for the PS3. Yes, I found the original Dark Souls. It was really hard to come across. They only had one left, so I was happy to get this when I did. So the last game I got from GameStop was actually a dual package. I got Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City on here. I was asking my friends if they thought I should get Origins, and they say I don't really have to play Origins to really get these two. So I just bought these two and didn't get Origins, and I personally can't wait to play this, honestly. And the last game I got, which I was really happy to get because I've been dying to get it for my PS4 for a while. Well, but I never really had the oomph to actually get it until now, and that's Injustice for the PS4. And I'm just like so excited to play all these video games. So the next one is a book I got from Texas. This one, the cover is controversial on this one, so I can't really show it without someone wanting to flag this video for it. So I'm gonna show the spine for it instead because it does have a woman breastfeeding a baby on it, and I know some people aren't really comfortable with that, while others don't really mind. I'm one of those people that don't really mind, but for the whole possibility of this video getting flagged for like 5 seconds of showing it, I'm just not gonna show the cover because it's better to be safe than sorry about getting flagged. So next book I ended up getting was Saga, the complete collection of Saga in one book. This baby cost me a lot of money, and I mean a lot. It cost me like pretty much like 1/4 of my budget for my trip. It was a pretty hefty price, but from what I've heard about it, it's a pretty good, I want to say it's a manga. I think it's a manga. I heard it's a pretty good manga, and the illustrations for it are just beautiful, and I personally can't wait to read it. I'll probably read this for October as well, but I decided to show it in this video separately. I'm gonna reveal my costume like a little bit closer to my other thing. So I got 2 shirts from Spencer's as well, but I couldn't find the other one. The other one had like Harley Quinn, the Joker, and a couple other criminals on it, and I just loved it. I think I wore it, so I didn't really want to dig in my dirty clothes hamper to find it. But the next one I got was my I Love Daryl shirt, and I'm totally obsessed with this shirt, and I just love it. Next up, I have here, I want to reveal my costume last because it's a pretty awesome costume. But, my next one, So my next thing I want to talk about for September, a lot of people go to the movies and stuff, and since I really had no desire to watch any movies besides Miss Peregrine's Home for Particular Children, which I don't really have the money for at the moment, so I'll watch it sometime maybe next month because it's perfect for October. I think it'll be more fitting for the month of October for me to go watch it, since I'm a huge fan of Halloween. If you could see my downstairs, you would know, like, my area downstairs, I'll probably shoot a video for my bookshelf because I do have a new bookshelf. And it was actually a really cute story about how I got it. It actually involves my proposal as well. So if you want a video about how my fiance proposed to me, just comment down below and I'll tell the story. Because it was a pretty interesting one. And I just loved it. So, in the month of September, I ended up binge watching Netflix like no one's business. I recently got back into House because House has a lot of seasons. So, I've been watching House. I watched a little bit of Grey's Anatomy last month, since it's October 1st when this video goes up. So, there's that. I also got into watching Gossip Girl again and Orange is the New Black and just a lot of other stuff. But I did find 2 new series that I'm just obsessed with, and I also started rewatching Once Upon a Time because I'm just like so lost and I need to go back and watch all the Once Upon a Time, because Once Upon a Time is more of a series I watch when I have time for it. So I end up just like watching one episode and I'm so confused. So there's actually three shows that I watched in the month of September that were kind of newish to me, but kind of not. One of them is a continued series that I didn't really do. Like, I used to do reviews for this series, but since the finale really disappointed me the last season, I decided really not to do it. Speaking of finales that disappoint you, I really need to see when Crazy Ex-Girlfriend comes back on, because, yeah, that was a disappointing finale, personally for me. I know a lot of people have watched my Crazy Ex-Girlfriend series finale review and seen how actually really pissed off I was about it, because I did that the moment that ended and I was super pissed off. Like, super. But I'm still gonna give the second season a chance. And I really can't wait for it despite my feelings about it. October is also the last season of the Vampire Diaries, which I will totally be getting into, and I personally can't wait. As well as the other series that disappointed me with a finale, and that was Scream Queens. I ended up deciding to continue the series, and I decided to watch Scream Queens, the hospital one. And this season actually really isn't that bad. It's a little less racist than the last season, because another issue I had with the show was that it was really racist. And yes, they still have their racist jokes, but Ryan Murphy has seemed to tone down a little bit. It's kind of like his first season syndrome. Like, any of Ryan Murphy's first seasons are really, really bad, but then they get really good for some reason. So it's kind of like, you really have to stick with Ryan Murphy shows. And I decided to stick with this one because, I just personally love a lot of the cast in this show. So I decided to stick with it. So there are other series that I personally have just found because of Netflix. Like, I think I mentioned in my August favorites that I found Shameless on Netflix, and Shameless is like one of my favorite new series, even though it's not a new series. There's also 2 new series that I found on Netflix that I really loved finding, and one of them is the Shannara Chronicles. The first episode, I just really didn't like it. I really thought it was just a ripoff of Lord of the Rings, and personally, I know I'm gonna get botched for this, but I personally am not a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings. I respect Lord of the Rings for what it is. I love Legolas, and I love Gandalf, and I love Bilbo. So I love a lot of the characters. I just really don't like high fantasy things for some weird, strange reason. Just personally not my thing, honestly. But I gave my friend Troy Ann told me, no, you really have to give this series a chance, Sarah. I think you would personally really like it. That and it's rated like 5 stars on my Netflix. So I thought, hey, why not give this series a chance to really impress me? And so I watched the second and third episode of the Shannara Chronicles, and I really personally thought, hey, this is really cool. Even though the author has admitted that a lot of her inspiration for the Shannara Chronicles comes from the Lord of the Rings, so that's why I thought it was kind of like a cheap knockoff of the Lord of the Rings, which really got me a little bit angry. But at the same time, I get it. And I really did like the elves in the Lord of the Rings. The elves are my favorite part of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. And I like elves. Elves are really cool. But I'm just wondering, when the hell did elves get so hot? I thought elves shouldn't have been hot. But everything has to get hotified, is what I call it nowadays, because they think that people need to be hot to get people interested in the show. And while it does help, it doesn't really matter personally to me. Honestly. So, there is also another series that I'm now totally obsessed with watching on Netflix, and that is Wentworth. Wentworth is kind of like the Australian version of Orange is the New Black, but it is so much more brutal, and Bee is so much better of a main protagonist than Piper is. Does Bee have her moments where she's really annoying? Yes. But she's not as annoying as Piper is, honestly. And this show really, it's longer than Orange is the New Black, and it's more brutal than Orange is the New Black. Wasn't its first season. This series really doesn't pause to think about if this is gonna make people throw up or not. It's just really awesome. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil who it was, but there is a murder in the first episode, and that is how much better it is than Orange is the New Black. So I would suggest watching Wentworth if you're getting tired of the Orange is the New Black, but you still want to watch Orange is the New Black as things. So Wentworth, check it out, really good. I also ended up watching, believe it or not, a documentary on Netflix this month. I'm not really a documentary person. I really don't like documentaries, but this one is a really good one, and I would suggest watching it because it involves how real personally we know how real sexual assault is, but we don't really know how bad the bullying could get in high school if you claim sexual assault. So this one is called Audrey and Daisy. I found it on Netflix. I was scrolling through Facebook. I saw a trailer for it, decided that I really wanted to watch it. So I gave it a shot. I watched it. It's a little slow at first, but I really found myself immersed in the story of Daisy. Not so much Audrey as much, but what happened to these two girls was really sick, and it really upsets me how much their members of their community didn't fall behind them or believe them because of who actually raped them, and that was heartbreaking to watch. Honestly, I really find it kind of sick that no one would believe a victim. I find it hard to believe. I really don't like that. It's just really horrible. But in the same time, it's really educational. So I personally would love people to check out this documentary. Honestly. But October is also gonna be TV hogging for me. I actually finished Young and Hungry and Baby Daddy on Netflix. That was my Netflix completion. But they're gonna finally have the second season of The Flash and the second season of iZombie on Netflix, and I can't wait to watch them personally. I'm so excited to watch those 2 seasons. So moving on to the costume reveal. I'm sorry that this video is so long. I got my Harley Quinn and Joker shirt on today, and please excuse the pajamas. I personally, okay. So, my friends and I have a certain theme this month. And the theme for this month is superheroes and supervillains. Personally, I was gonna go for Misa for Death Note until I realized how hard it was to find things for Misa from Death Note. Especially the Misa I wanted to be. Personally, I couldn't find her that much, so I was getting discouraged with my costume for Misa. I was really sad that I couldn't find a lot of things for Misa. So I decided to give up on Misa and instead just branch on to what my friends were doing this Halloween. But the super villain I decided to do is one of my favorite supervillains, and that is Poison Ivy. And I got this gorgeous costume from Hot Topic. It's really detailed, and I love it so much. So, I mean, just look at usually the back details don't really match the front details, but look at that detail. It's just so awesome. And I love it. So this is the corset that goes with it. And here is my skirt. It's kind of like it's got the really long thing. The back has a lot more than the front does, and that's interesting to me. But I'm fascinated. Actually, this might be the front, actually. It might be the front of the costume. I don't know. I have to look, but I'm so excited. But instead of getting a wig, because this costume cost a lot, and I mean a lot, so I'm gonna pin on a buyer's beware for Hot Topic on this. Their costumes do run a little bit expensive, but so do a lot of costumes these days. I think just for that, it was $80 for me. But if I would have bought her complete set, it would have cost me $150, and I'm just over here like, that's almost all of my budget right there, so I'm just gonna get this for now. So instead of getting the wig that came with this, I'm just gonna dye my hair red, because I've done it before for Poison Ivy, and, I got these tights, and I'm gonna dye them green, because it's October, it's gonna be cold. I already know about it. And then, yeah, that's gonna be a long process, but I know I could do it. Dude, when I have money, I'm gonna buy her mask and her gloves from Hot Topic. Cause yeah, reasons. Okay, so coming up next, sorry for this long video, but I also have my October TBR to do as well, and, it's gonna be, like, a big one as well, so please bear with me through this video. I'm sorry, honestly. So, for the month of October, I actually have a lot of books. I decided to go with the spooky theme and more dark themed books for the month of October. So this first book I'm definitely going to read in the month of October because I'm obsessed with reading this book in October because it's a perfect October thing to read, and that is the Grimm's Brothers Fairy Tales, and this is my gorgeous copy of the Grimm's Brothers Fairy Tales. It's one of my most prized possessions, and I got this one from Barnes & Noble. Actually, no, I don't think I got it from Barnes & Noble. I think I got it from Hastings, like 2 years ago. I haven't read it all the way through. I've read some of the stories that I was more intrigued with, but I thought, hey, Grimm's Brothers are awesome. Might as well give them what they deserve. And I love the gold pages. Sorry if this is messing up my life balance, but it's just so amazing. And I love them so much. So that's gonna be my first book. My second book that I decided to go with on my October TBR, which is actually in my September TBR too, but I didn't get to it because, plans and other stuff. But I'm gonna try to read A Darker Shade of Magic in the month of October. I really expanded my TBR on October. That way I could at least have a variety to read. Next book that I have is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I think it's about pirates. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's about monsters for sure. And this is a young adult story that has no romance in it, which really drew me into The Ember and the Ashes, because the romance was kind of hidden in there, but at the same time it wasn't the main focus of the story. So I'm excited to read The Savage Song. So the fourth book I have here also has really beautiful pages, and I haven't really read it yet, and that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. And I love the dark theme of this book. I thought it would be perfect for to read in October, and just the black pages, I'm just obsessed. So speaking of the month of October, there's actually one thing that really fits into the month of October perfectly. I got this book a while ago. I started reading it. Wasn't really thoroughly impressed. It didn't really impress me that much, but I decided to give it another chance because it's gonna take me a little time to get back into play format. So the next book I have here is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is an original screenplay in London. And I thought, hey, I'd really love to watch this play in London, but I don't have that kind of money. So I'm going to read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and it's in play format. So buyers beware on this one. If you don't like non-book format and you don't like play format, I wouldn't suggest getting this book, even though it's Harry Potter, because it will annoy you. I read play format in theater a lot, but since I've been out of theater for a couple of years, it's starting to really take me time to get back into it. So it's gonna take me time to get into Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, honestly. So the next one is another book I thought would be fit into the theme of October, and that is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I really want to read this book. I don't know why I haven't picked up this book. It's just that I've been in a huge book slump this whole entire month, and I really got to get into reading more books because, this whole top 2016 is gonna turn into a top 5 really quickly if I don't get more books on my radar, and so that's why I have such a huge TBR in October. Next book I decided to read for the month of October is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. And I thought, again, another book that I've been reading, decided to stop reading for my book slump reasons, and it's just perfect. I just love the theme of it. So the next book, I'm kind of going through a lot of it faster here because I don't really have the time to do so. To do description and stuff. So the next book is another Leigh Bardugo book, because I think Leigh Bardugo books are really good to read in the month of October because she has a more spooky vibe, and that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I have not read the Grisha trilogy. They advise that you read the Grisha trilogy before you read Six of Crows, but you don't have to, so I thought, hey, why not? Wow, that's gonna be awesome. So the next book I have is a really short book. It's a short story, and it's getting turned into a movie, which I find really interesting. How could they turn this really short novel into a really long movie? but I guess it's possible. So the next book I have here is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, inspired by an idea from, I can't really say her name, Sobahan Dowd? And this book just has so much beautiful illustrations in it. It's a really beautiful novel, and it's perfect for the month of October. And since the movie is coming out soon, I don't really know when. Comment down below if you know when this movie comes out. But A Monster Calls is gonna be a major motion picture, and Liam Neeson's in it. So I thought, hey, why not? And it's a really short book, so I might actually read this one first, less intimidating one. So the next one, this one actually has a really gorgeous map in it that I'm going to show you. But I thought, since it's October and I needed to throw some fairy tale themed stuff into this as well as a spooky vibe because, fairy tales are also very good for the month of October. That is The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine. I didn't really get into reading this one because I heard mixed reviews about it. So I tend to leave the ones that have really mixed reviews for last, but since I've been getting a TBR that really has more books than my actual finished books have, I just really need to read something. But this, I'm just gonna show you how gorgeous this map is in here. It's just so super gorgeous, and I decided to pick this up because it really does seem to have a really haunting vibe to it. So the next book I have here is actually out now for a major motion picture. I mentioned it earlier in this video, but I decided to read Miss Peregrine's Home for Particular Children because I think it would be a perfect book for the month of October, which is probably why I haven't really read it because I haven't really been in the mood for spooky things. But in October, I'm really in the mood for spooky things. So this one's definitely gonna go up the scales a little bit. And last but not least, I thought since it's a perfect demons and angels month for me, I'm gonna be reading the second book in the Moral Instrument series, which is City of Ashes. And since I read the first book in high school, I didn't really like it, but they told me that I have to read the second book. So I'm gonna give this another shot with City of Ashes. I have the whole series, and I do have Lady Midnight, which really interests me more than the Moral Instruments. But I decided not to be lost and read the Moral Instruments first, which is gonna be like a very long book series. It's gonna take a lot of time. But that is it, you guys. I do apologize for the long video. So what are you guys doing for the month of October? What are you gonna be for Halloween? What's your TBR for October? And is there anything on Netflix that you think I should check out? Leave a comment down below, let me know. And I will see you guys in my next video.